Last year saw unemployment rise to its highest level since 1994, and predictions are that trends will continue in 2012. More redundancies and a new generation of job seekers will add to the unemployment statistics. The purpose of this video is to help you regain your pride, your income, and most importantly, your place in the world of work. This is not a quick fix. There is no denying that all industries are suffering from the recession. The following guidelines, if you stick to them, you can be sure in the knowledge and be happy that you're doing the best you can to secure your future. Being told you're going to be made redundant is not a great experience. I've been there, trust me. But you've got to put it out of your mind. Focus everything on the next role and your next appointment. You must understand a business decision was made by your previous employer to help the business stay solvent. You've got to look now for a role that has stability or potential to grow. You should take at least a week, step back, evaluate yourself and your skills. A good way to do this is to rewrite your CV. I'll go that into more detail a little bit later. Use the time to be clear and focused about the industry you want to focus on next, and how your current skills will transfer to that role. If you have the resources, you can take into consideration a return to education or perhaps distance learning. You really do need to prepare for the long haul. Some industries have been hit harder than others, and some job seekers are now counting years, not days, since their last position. You've got to prepare for the long haul, manage your resources accordingly. You'll have to change your lifestyle, you'll have to put yourself into job hunting mode. People who have excessive or specific requirements will find it a lot harder and expect it to be a lot longer search before they get their next position. Off the back of that, broadening your search, you're obviously increasing your chances of success in procuring a new job. If you can, try to think of industries that you can realistically transfer your skills to. When searching for jobs, different media, think of different job titles for your previous role. Many companies still call similar positions different titles. Sacrifices. Sacrifices will need to be made, and some will be harder than others. We found through many different surveys that many employers are facing skill shortages at the moment within their workplace. More is demanded from individual employees whilst their salaries remain stagnant. You may find that you will have to take a pay cut from your last salary to bring you into the catchment range for certain roles. You do not want to devalue yourself too much, of course, but this is a tough time for companies, tough time for everyone. Sometimes a low salary for a short period is better than none for a long run. Geographically, some areas are surviving better than others, and I'm not telling you you've got to uproot your whole family and move places, but for example, the southeast has the highest level of employment while the northeast is suffering, so it's well worth considering a move. With so many people out of work, you've got to shine as an individual. Look at ways of making yourself attractive to a new employer and try and stand out from the crowd. There are many ways of doing this, but gaining a new qualification is likely to catch a recruiter's eye. If you're approaching a new company, be sure to be up to date with their specific industry requirements. You need to be aware of their ethic. For example, if you approach a new employer because you know their frequent acquisition of a new major client, it's more likely to result in expansion into new products and open the gates to a new human resource. They're going to be impressed with the fact that you know something about their company. More impressed than a generic cover letter that lists a number of different skills that are probably relevant to any industry. Always remember you should have some USPs, unique selling points, differentiators that are going to make you different from every other candidate that is applying for the position. When it comes to CV writing, there are many different schools of thought on length, content, etc. You should contact an agency that's relevant to your own industry and the kind of content you need to be putting in. As a general rule though, the first draft should be as thorough as possible. Try and put an introduction to yourself, your skills, your academics, qualifications, systems, IT systems that you're using, tools that you're relevant or proficient with. Experience including any gaps in your employment, hobbies and activities. That's probably a good order to be putting things in. Condense the CV down to 2 or 3 pages, but do consult an agency that is relevant to your industry. Some industries will require a longer CV. Project management, for example, you will be required to list all of the projects you worked on previously. Okay, the do's and don'ts of interview stage. When you get there, there's a couple of crucial ones that you really should try and stick to. If asked why you were made redundant, no matter how unfair you think it was, you must try to give an impartial and unbiased account of what happened. Try to use the exact wording that came in your redundancy letter. If your new employer is worth their salt, they will understand that the nation is in financial turmoil at the moment. They won't hold your redundancy against you. Make sure you convey to your employer how you've used your time whilst you've been unemployed. Try to tell them how you've been productive with your time. Let them know that you've been using methods to improve your skills, you've stayed up to date with industry developments. You can give them details of your job hunt, but try not to dilute the fact that you've been going to a number of different companies. Mentioning to your future employer or your interviewing employer that you're currently interviewing at some of their major competitors, obviously don't lie, but try and bring them into the frame, would obviously give them the sort of the next door neighbour Jones feeling that there's some people out there that want you, and there's people that are interested in you as a commodity. Finally, really you need to enlist all the help you can get. I mean, obviously you'll be registering yourself with a number of agencies, but also make a list of all the people you used to work with. Suppliers, sales contacts, trainers, former employers, former employees, and even former clients. Ask them how they're doing for work, if they're aware of any vacancies. If you don't think it's appropriate, then at least give that list to us as an agency. We don't mind contacting anyone out there. And remember, don't be embarrassed about the situation. As an agency, we're helping many people like you. If you've got any questions at all, we're more than happy to help get you back into work, anything regarding a period of redundancy.